I thought this was a fantastic live stream at the start. Had a great crowd in. I named it the most beautiful live stream with all the beautiful ladies that were in.
The 1991 Royal Rumble took place at Miami Arena, January 19th. The Ultimate Warrior's reign as WWF Champion came to an end at this event, and he was defeated by Sergeant Slaughter with the help of Macho King Randy Savage and Sherry. I didn't like this match. However, at the time, this was a major deal, major shock. I don't think anybody expected to see this. I think everybody thought the Ultimate Warrior would have at least regained his title until WrestleMania 7. That didn't happen here, and we got a new champion in Sergeant Slaughter. And it just felt like the WWF was starting to go off the rails a wee bit after 5 or 6 glorious years from 1985 to 1990. Sergeant Slaughter as champion, I would say, was the worst WWF champion during the golden age of the WWF. In a tag team match, Ted DiBiase and Virgil defeated the team of Dustin Rhodes and Dusty Rhodes, but it was all about what happened afterwards in this one when Virgil, the longtime bodyguard of Ted DiBiase, had enough of Ted DiBiase's BS and planted him one with the $1 million belt in what was one of the most memorable moments of 1991 for wrestling. After a great Royal Rumble last year, this Royal Rumble went backwards and ended up one of the worst earlier Royal Rumbles. It was very boring at times. There was a number of great participants in the Royal Rumble. Some notable participants were the debut of The Undertaker in the Royal Rumble match. He was great in it. Animal and Hawk, the Legion of Doom, took the energy levels up when they entered the Royal Rumble. By this point, I was kind of getting fed up with the whole Hulk Hogan thing. It was too soon for there to be for Hogan to win the Royal Rumble twice and twice in a row. It was a bit much. I understand why they did it with projecting Hulk Hogan in the main event spot of WrestleMania 7 before it was an actual thing that the winner of the Royal Rumble would go on to face the champion at WrestleMania. But it basically happened here. I didn't like the ending too much either. It was just Hogan. We're used to Hogan no selling, but this was like Hogan no selling to the extreme. And by 991, it was time to change up the act. Didn't like this Royal Rumble match. Didn't like this Royal Rumble event. WrestleMania 7, the one where the Undertaker's streak began with a victory over Jimmy Superfly Snuka, happened on March 24th, 1991 at the Los Angeles Memorial Sports Arena. Easily the best match of the night was between the Macho Man Randy Savage and the Ultimate Warrior. This was loser leaves the WWF match, retirement match. Warrior getting the win here in perhaps one of the most emotional wrestling match. Fans crying in the crowd. Both wrestlers brought their A game, especially Macho Man Randy Savage. Just that this is up there with Hogan Warrior from the previous WrestleMania, and such a great WrestleMania match. Arguably, the moment even after the match with the reunion of Miss Elizabeth and Macho Man Randy Savage actually overshadows the actual match between Warrior and Savage. The crowd, as I say, were in tears. Nothing felt forced. It was all, just great storytelling. One of the greatest WrestleMania moments of all time. In the second best match of the night, just beating the tag team title match between the Nasty Boys and the Hart Foundation, is Mr. Perfect. defending his Intercontinental title against the Big Boss Man. These two had extremely good chemistry together. There was also an appearance by Andre the Giant and others. Bobby Heenan was getting involved. This was the first WrestleMania that was called by Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. I often look back and wonder what commentary team was better, Bobby Heenan, Monsoon, or Monsoon and Ventura. Both excellent. I think Bobby Heenan edges it entertainment-wise, but I think Ventura edges it. It feels like more of a big deal when Ventura was commentating, but both excellent teams, very hard to pick. In the main event was a match, as I've noted before, I think Sergeant Slaughter was the worst WWF champion during the Hulkamania era. It was not a bad match, actually. It was like if I'm going to do a Dave Meltzer on you all, it was like a 3-star match, but there was nothing of excitement to it. Everyone knew Hulk Hogan was going to win, and he did win and got his third title here to close off WrestleMania, but compared to the previous WrestleManias, the main event felt flat. SummerSlam 1991 took place at Madison Square Garden, August the 26th. The best match of the night was between Bret the Hitman Hart and Mr. Perfect, where Bret the Hitman Hart became the Intercontinental Champion. Mr. Perfect really put Bret Hart over strong in this one. Great matchup. A fun segment throughout the night was when the Mountie was defeated by the Big Boss Man, and he had to go to the New York jail afterwards in this jailhouse match. Fun stuff with a Mountie here throughout. The main event, match portion-wise, was Hulk Hogan teaming up with the Ultimate Warrior to take on Colonel Mustafa, General Adnan, and Sergeant Slaughter. Special guest referee Sid Justice, whom was making his pay-per-view debut here. This was the match where the Ultimate Warrior in real life would be fired straight after, and the backstage antics sounded far more exciting than this match. The proper main event, I guess, was the wedding between Miss Elizabeth and Macho Man Randy Savage. I thought it was a great moment at WrestleMania 7 when Miss Elizabeth and Macho Man got together again, reunited. But this was a bit too much for my liking. I would have preferred to have seen this wedding at a TV taping. A main event of SummerSlam, not my cup of tea. The 5th annual Survivor Series took place the day after my birthday, November 27th, 1991. Now, this was the time that I just discovered the World Wrestling Federation, got into it just before my birthday at the very young age of 3, loved it, got into it by the old WWF tapes, an old Survivor Series from 1988. So this was during the time that I became a fan. This Survivor Series took place from Detroit. The opening match started off great. It featured teams including the Mountie, Ric Flair, Ted DiBiase, and the Warlord taking on the team of Bret Hart, the British Bulldog, Roddy Piper, and Virgil. Started off really great, some great exchanges, but from between Ric Flair and Roddy Piper, the British Bulldog, had some great moments in this match, but what a cheap ending. Ric Flair, whom was making his pay-per-view debut for the World Wrestling Federation. Ric Flair, of course, had been a big star for the rival company up until this point, and it started off brilliant, but it was such a cheap ending with most of the wrestlers getting disqualified towards the end. Very, very cheap, lazy finish here. Spoiled potentially one of the greatest Survivor Series matches of all time. In what should have been the main event for this Survivor Series took place midway through the card was the WWF Championship match, the first singles match at Survivor Series ever, featured The Undertaker becoming WWF Champion for the first time ever, defeating Hulk Hogan in what I enjoyed this matchup. The Tombstone looked quite fake, very fake towards the end, but apart from that, loved The Undertaker during his time. The whole gimmick was working so well. Paul Bearer added so much value to the Undertaker character too. Hulk Hogan still in his prime here, not as over as he once was, but still very much in his prime. And the two had a solid match. Was it the greatest match ever? No, but it was a great match for what it was. So the main event was a Survivor Series match, a 3-on-3 one. I felt a bit cheated during this show as it was advertised for Jake Roberts and Macho Man to be involved to make it a 4-on-4 Survivor Series, but throughout the hell show, it just felt like one big advertisement for this Tuesday in Texas, the next pay-per-view. So you felt a bit cheated watching this show. So the main event featured the Big Boss Man teaming up with the Legion of Doom to take on Irwin R. Seister and Natural Disasters. And a throwaway it wasn't bad, but was it a great main event? No, it should have been The Undertaker and Hogan. I believe the Legion of Doom were the sole survivors here. The first ever December pay-per-view produced by the WWF took place December 3rd, 1991. It was titled This Tuesday in Texas, the first and last ever one. The opening match featured Bret the Hitman Hart taking on Skinner the Alligator Man in what was a decent but forgettable match. One of the main draws of the show was the return of Macho Man Randy Savage to a wrestling ring to take on Jake the Snake Roberts, whom was a heel at this point and a fantastic heel here. He picked up major heat following the match when he slapped Miss Elizabeth. The main event featured a rematch between Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker for the WWF Championship. The Undertaker just won it several days earlier at the Survivor Series from Hogan, which was a better match. I enjoyed it better than this one. Still not bad. Hogan gets his title back here and for the fourth time becomes champion. I think this was a mistake, giving Hogan the title back so soon. They should have kept the title on The Undertaker a little bit longer. I think he could go by 1991, and I think he was, without doubt, one of the top players of 1991 and one of the most exciting up-and-coming wrestlers. So my 1991 rankings look like this. In fifth place, the event that was number one in my 1990 rankings, the Survivor Series, 5 out of 10. In fourth place, this Tuesday in Texas. It had less garbage in it than the Survivor Series, so about 6 out of 10 for me. In third place, the Royal Rumble. Disappointing show overall. Second place, Summerslam, 91. And in first place, topping my rankings for the first time since my 1987 video, is a WrestleMania 7, 8 out of 10. If the main event had been more exciting, this would have been one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time.